Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. It's Kristy here. I've come on here to show you my Joy to the World pouch, and I have finished. I'm very happy with it. I just got a little bits to do, so I will do that with you. Here in Australia we've just had a long weekend, so I just stayed home and we didn't go and do any celebrations. We had a lovely dinner at this house. We had a lovely dinner here with the kids, and my father-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my stepfather Johnny. So we've had a lovely day. We did have a lovely day, I should say. Can you see that on camera? Yep. Bring you down a little bit. So we just had lamb chops and salad and sausages. It was very nice. Okay, so what's happened here is I have moved this up because I turned my pouch into a box corner, which means that you get a bit of a rectangle at the bottom there like that, and I cut the corners out, and what's left from the corners are these pieces here. You cut them as 1.5 inches square, and then you clamp them together sideways, sew across the top, sew across here, and then that becomes a thicker bottom instead of just one flat bottom. And so this has left a little bit of a hole, so I'm just gently massaging the fabric back for the threads to go back where they need to go. It's getting a bit thin, so I'll probably just leave it now, and then I just have to go over with some running thread. Now I have to be careful that I don't sew into the other side of the fabric, so I just pull it apart like that and then have that sort of up in the air. Sorry, I'll get it better like that. So when you poke the thing down, you're not poking into the fabric on the other side. We didn't go to any of the fireworks or anything like that. I just didn't want to. I don't like going down there. It's all too noisy. Right, so I'll just jump over here and come back. Just get your needle and move it over. It doesn't matter how it looks, because this sort of stitching, canter stitching, is just sort of anywhere but in a straight line. I just want to get this sewn down because this is going to be the part of the bottom of the bag. So I don't want any annoyance with the fabric. I did this after I put this on. That's why when I moved it there was nothing there. I should have done it probably before, but we live and learn these things. Let's do a few more stitches here. Probably should just come in and do some there. So all you've got to do is just get your needle, pretend or do a straight stitch, and then just weave it underneath and make sure you're not catching all your other fabrics, and just come up like that and go down and come up somewhere. I'm trying to keep them straight, I don't want to do seed stitch. Come down and come up there, and then just go back on yourself like that. And I might just come up there, and just for argument's sake I might just put one in there because it is going to be the bottom of the bag. Do some more here. You're always turning and twisting the bag and in the position where you want it to be, which is not a problem. Just make sure I haven't sewn through to the other side of the bag. So you just sort of hold it up in the air would be a good idea. I think that will do. I don't mind that. So what I do sometimes is tie off a knot just about 1 centimetre towards the end. This is what you do when you do quilting as well. And what you do is you can use that as a pretend piece of thread and just travel that underneath the wool blanket, and you get to the knot, and sometimes you can hear a popping sound. It did make a little tiny sound, but sometimes it's a little bit louder. So when you hear the pop, that means the knot has gone into the fabric and it can't work itself back out. And then you just pull on the fabric, pull on the thread to make it a bit shorter, and then cut it, and then that will thread itself back through. So, excuse me, I'll just have a little drink of my tea. So I have finished, and I can show you the construction of what the process is. So I've got 2 pieces of blanket, then I just got all my scraps, I got treasures available to put on somewhere. This was my own fabric that I dyed, and then I put some lovely rose stamp on it. This was a doily. This was just some ribbon, a Suffolk puff that I just put an old button on. I just found some printed fabric that I put on. I stamped this with my own stamps, and I coloured the fabric. This was already done, but I just put my own button on it. You just saw I moved that, which I just put some thread and to hold it down. I made this myself. I did runnings, crocheted 3 chains, added the bead, threaded it through, and then did another slip stitch, and then I did another 3 chains, put the bead on, slip stitched it so it sort of locked it in there, did 3 chains, or I might have not even worried about the 3 chains, I can't remember now. And I just made that as a little dingle dangle on this side of the page. This was just a little doily that came in. Did a little bit of thread painting, not my best, but I'm only just starting, so I'm not worried. I like it that it's just different. The little squares in this fabric, I just went round with your normal, I can't remember if it's crochet cotton now or just this perlé thread. I think it's just crochet cotton. I did some French knots, and then as you can see, I stamped on that with a beautiful pink stamp, which is this one here, and you get that from Spotlight. It's called Pink Petunia. And then obviously that got cut into the corner for the box corner. As you can see, I stitched a lot of it down. I stitched this down with some little stitches. Oh, it's come undone. I'll have to fix that up. I just went over the top of that with some yarn, with some perlé thread. Then I put my zipper in, and I had an open zipper at the end. I'm not the best at putting zippers in. I think this is the wrong way, but that's fine. Then I just anchored the blanket down to the lining so the lining stays in. On the other side is some little dingle dangles. This was just a piece of white crocheted off a tablecloth or something, and that's just sitting on top of some fabric. This is my mum's little fabric this comes from this type of fabric. I made this for my beautiful mum after she passed away, put her ashes in. So this piece has stayed on here. what have we got now? These are some buttons that I did, and this is part of my wedding veil, and this is the beads of my wedding veil, so I stuck those on. A little hexagon, some trim across the top there, and then I just remembered when Sally from Dottie B, she's doing a lovely slow stitch on her channel, so I remembered doing some of the stitches, so I thought I'll do some crosses over there and some seed stitch and some running stitch down here. I did try to do a bit of thread painting. I might come back in and fill in these later, but not now. This was just a bit of lace, French knots, and just whatever came to mind really. And then here I just did a little trail and tried to remember to do some pinwheels and lazy daisy French knots, and another pinwheel from Sally's little what is slow stitch course going on at the moment. Like I said, this is part of the box corner. So all this yarn here is Fleur Woods yarn. I can get them out for you. If you get a chance and you see them on her website, and if it's available for you, or you'd like some, then I would recommend them, because they are just beautiful. They're so soft and they glide through the fabric or the blanket, in my case, like butter. This was some pink crochet cotton that was my auntie's, who has since passed, so I decided to make myself a little square, a crocheted square, and stick that on. And that's it. That's about it. I'll show you inside. What was I going to say? I don't know where it is now. I just did some seed stitching there. Oh, underneath there is I coloured some damask. I didn't realise that was not connected. Some damask that was my grandmother's, and I did it in rose pink. So that's under there. That's what I was looking for before. And so inside, I can't pull this out now because I've sewn it to the thing here. But inside is just your normal inside of your bag. I'll turn it the wrong way out. And I have some chenille blanket. I just sewed that on with some wool. And I don't like the feel of, oh look what I've done there. I don't like the feel of wool. It makes me a little bit itchy, so I lined mine and I just put a big pocket in. So what I've done there is I've gone from one side to the other. So what I might do is, if it's not going to be a problem, I'll probably just leave it, but it feels a little bit weird. So I will chop this and turn this in the right way. And hopefully that will sit better. If it comes undone, all I've got to do is fix it up later. So my zipper just goes, and I made a little tab at the end, just cut all the threads off, and you just shut the zipper like that, and she's ready to go. And I just love it. I really do. This has just made me just enjoy the process of slow stitching and doing what I want to do at the time. There's no wrong or right way of sewing your pouch or your needle book or your stitching book or a bag or whatever. There's no wrong way. It's whatever way you'd like to create it. And I don't think about the stitches, which way I'm going. Certainly if I want to do blanket stitch, I've got to make sure I do it the correct way. But it doesn't matter if these ones are bigger and those ones are smaller. I did it deliberately that way, but it it doesn't matter, just stitch at the time you put your needle down, and you bring it up where you want to, especially with this type of cant stitching. You try and get the same in between, but it's not going to work because we're not robots. We don't have a precision accuracy of doing things unless you mark it out with a ruler or something. So I am thrilled that I have finished, and this is not, unfortunately, this is not going anywhere because it has too many special things on it, obviously. And I got some laundry labels, and I mentioned that in one of my videos before. This is KR for just the 2 letters of my name, because obviously you can't get your whole name. And that was printed on fabric. I printed that on fabric. So that's it. So I look forward to the next pouch with Kate in the Nest. So if you'd like to go over and see what she's doing, visit her on her YouTube channel, Kate in the Nest, and she has an Instagram page as well. Hopefully I'll remember to link it down below in the box. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed watching the few videos I've made on my Joy to the World pouch. Thanks for watching.